Hey, welcome everybody. We are
Hello,
here
hello.
again for another couple of hours of potato chip miner. Just getting set up here. We'll get the branch for this. So, oop, yeah, I don't know what the date is. There we go.
It is the 18th.
Yeah. So you can see here I've already kind of started some stuff where I'm adding crunch to the project so that we can have continuous running of the tests, which I think will help us focus a little bit closer on what we're doing in that space. Maybe we'll actually be able to start doing some more test driven development. Um, I think though what I'm going to do with these, Pete, is I think I'm going to add it to the ignore file
Okay.
because I don't think we want those in our repo.
So that file tells Git not to post these up to the source repo,
Yeah,
in case anybody's wondering what that's about.
yeah, absolutely. Um, and so I started with the one of the default ones that they have for um, Visual Studio. Um, so I'm just going to add crunch. So I'm just going to ignore these crunch projects and crunch solution. Because what these files are really doing in the as far as how this project works is it stores which files we can run or which tests we can run and which ones we don't want to run. Um, and I don't think that I feel like that's user specific. So I think that would be like if you were working on this, Pete, you would use your own if you were going to actually use crunch or not.
Okay.
So
Oh, I think my camera froze again.
yeah, it kind of looks like it. I'm going to just do updated get ignore to um, for crunch.
Actually, lost your screen share as well, John.
Oh, that's not good. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. All right.
All right. Back in
Yeah,
business.
back in business. I don't think I can. One of the things I noticed on here is I don't think I can. Well, there is a there. I can't zoom in on it, so it's kind of hard to see. So, got our code there. That's good. Yeah. So now, so in here, one of the things that um, we we do in the tests, right? And so like right now, it's set up where all these tests are ignored at the moment. Um, it it should be set up and ready to run. Okay, so I got 8 passing tests. We had one failing there a second ago.
Yeah, what changed?
I
What
don't
happened?
I don't know.
Because we did have one failing. Just
Yeah,
went away.
why? I don't know. Um. Oh, this isn't showing ones that ran successfully, so that's why those were missing from the collection. Um. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, these don't have anything in it. So I think there's a way for me to even like tell it which ones to ignore. Um, but the thing that's nice is it does also coverage, which is cool. Um, and so these are just showing those. So I could really even just say I want to run all these tests all the time. Um, say unignore, unignore, unignore. All right. So
Okay, now
what?
they're all running.
Yeah. So now they're all running. Now this here shows ones that are failing. And so right now we don't have anything that's failing, which is good. What'll be neat is that when we actually start going through the code, we'll start seeing these indicators here showing us which tests have actually been run on each line of code. So that'll be nice.
All right. So, and that's in there. It's doing its thing, huh?
Yeah, so that's good. All right, so we have it running. Just as a quick recap, so here's something that's interesting, right? So we do have some tests that are actually executing against this, but these white ones here are indicating that we don't have any tests that are covering this execution, which
That's
a,
bad.
yeah, it's bad.
So we should write a test that basically what is that? What's that if statement?
This is so we wrote a test that does it for the bit upgrade item. I don't even know when we did that.
Yeah, right. But apparently we did.
Oh yeah, look.
Yeah.
Oh, we did. You know what? That was actually one of those ones that we were doing with tests as we were doing the development for it.
Oh, look at
So,
us. So that's
so
the way you should do it.
and this because this one was already there at the time, so we didn't have anything specific for it. Yes, that's pretty nice. Oh, excuse me, everyone. Excuse me.
Can't blame that one on me. Usually it's me yawning,
I
making you
know.
yawn.
I don't even know where that came from. Yeah. So last week we were trying to get the upgrades to save properly because we had restructured all the um, we restructured how game items were stored, and we had game items, and then we had this concept of inventory items and store items, basically trying to have a way of store metadata around a game item in certain conditions, in certain uh, states, right? So that's why the store item was different because it would have some extra metadata around it, like the number of items that are there and what the price is for those items.
Right, right. So
Right.
the context of an item sitting in the store waiting to be bought is different than the concept of an item sitting in your bag waiting to be used, and then also a little bit different than when you go to actually use it in whatever capacity you use it. Right? Is that what you're trying to say,
Right.
basically?
Yeah, exactly. So we wanted to be able to account for that. Of course, that ended up causing a problem with how we do the saving. So we ended up we had a problem where the saves were not being done properly. So we fixed that last week.
Right.
Um,
That had to do with the way the serialization worked. Is that what we were tripping over?
hmm
I'm
Oh
trying
my
to think.
goodness, I should not be yawning. I don't know what is hitting me.
Hey, you gotta get some coffee, man. Might have to take a little 5 minute.
I don't know. Coffee will just end up keeping me up even later than I want to.
Yeah, right.
Um, oh, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So it ended up being related to the serialization because we were just using JSON data to get serialized. We are serializing the objects down to it. The problem is we were using base classes and things of that ilk. So what was happening is that it was creating the object or creating the item, but it wasn't including all that metadata around it. It was only including the stuff that was on the base type, and so that base type was killing us. Ooh.
So yeah, so we were able to get around that, and then basically everything is stored kind of in that metadata collection now, right? That's sort of how we got.
The metadata collection.
Like
Yes,
when you look at the JSON, there's a list of metadata as opposed to it having to know each individual type.
right. Because we changed the save models for it to include that, and it's only on the save models that we're doing this concept of metadata. We were using actual objects in the code base itself.
Right. So there's like a translation that happens between the save when you save it and pull it back out.
Right. Ah, it's in services. That's where it was. Control T. That gets me to it. Code Rush has a. I thought it was Control T. This is Control Shift E for everything. Because what do we want? We had it was in game item state. Yeah. So this, I went to the wrong thing. So the game item state that we actually did here, now we actually store this metadata dictionary, basically, so that when during the save process, it pulls out that data, stores it there, and then we have to have a process that reverses that, right? Which we actually put. Excuse me, man. I do not know what's happening. Um, yeah. So then we actually put that process inside the game item itself, right? So we have a get state and we have a from state, and so that get state and from state will actually do that translation to bring it back and rehydrate the item properly. Here we don't really see it because it's in a base, but if we were to look at one of the like one of these here, so we'll look at the store item as an example. Um, oh, we didn't. Well, you know what? We didn't do it inside of here, did we?
Oh, is this how far we got? I felt like there might have been something undone.
No, no, no. We did. What we ended up doing is I ended up actually creating a builder
Oh, that's right.
because we used
Seems
that
about.
because it got used in so many different spots.
Mhm.
I didn't want it to. Didn't want to do it over and over.
Right.
We had to add that. That was one of the things that came up. Let me just see if. Where did I do that? It was something like game item builder.
Is it in services, maybe?
Yeah, so here we go.
Game
So
Builder.
yeah, so what we ended up basically I just did it here as a static builder. We can pass in that game item state that's from the saved file. Uh, re retake all that out, and then based on the type that's coming in, we can translate it into the actual type.
Okay. And that was working, right? Because that's really. I'm trying to remember if we had everything working when we stopped last time.
Yeah, I feel like it was.
So should we like run a game and then save it, or try and pull out the old game, maybe?
Yeah, reload the old game. I think that's. I feel like that's where we ended last week. So, wow, we've already taken like 15 minutes on this. So, nope. I want to load up item 3, and so
Oh yeah, you did clean out all those, all those old games.
yeah, I wanted to. There was well, none of those files would work. So
Yeah,
there
because
was
they
that.
were all, yeah, no good anymore. Whoever
Yeah,
doing it. All right.
yeah. So we can see the hoppers. I think we even have a digger with the item attached to it. Oh, we don't. Oh, I think that's where we ended. Like, I didn't actually do anything to equip any of it, like to try testing out that portion of it because we didn't have enough chips.
Right.
Um, but I think, whoop, let's see, we can empty Allison. Uh, we can empty Sam. Some chips. All right, so now I can buy a. Oh, look, and I got the standard bit now showing up. That's
Ah,
good. So that.
yes.
Oh, that'd be good if I did it right. So we're gonna buy the large hopper. Whew. All right. Now, how do we do this? Can we do upgrade? Up. Oh, you know what?
Uh,
Let me look at the diggers that we've got here before doing too much. Um, which one is better, Allison or Sam? Because I can't remember
uh,
hard and firm. Like which one's
I think firm is softer,
okay?
so that would be better. So
All right,
firm and rich would be better.
okay, so Sam would be a good one to add it to, right? So then we can
Hmm.
upgrade. We're gonna upgrade Sam.
Use the item.
I'm going to use the large hopper.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's just a
Okay,
breakpoint.
breakpoint. Cool.
All right, so now, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, I just saw this message here. It says allow Digger to hold 100 chips before requiring emptying. And so I was like, I was wondering where that came from.
Did that pop out when you equipped it?
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Okay.
Um, Seems like everything's in disarray at the moment.
Oh, look at you at 59 of 100. Nice.
I know. Look at
Now we'll
Sam.
be able to get that big bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a big bit you have.
Then we could. Are we able to upgrade Sam with that bit? I don't know if we can.
Well, we have to be able to buy it, but it's in the store, so.
Well, I mean, it's in the store, but I don't think we have the upgrade slot available for it.
Oh, did we not build that yet?
I don't think we've added it into the code base that we have. So this will actually be good because if we can start putting in the resource files that we were talking about so that we can actually load this information, like what is available in the game from that, we can add it there.
Right. Okay. Okay. So that, yeah. So the idea being that that'll allow us to have like a data store where we can kind of just add items instead of having to write lines of code for each
Yeah.
thing. So that's what this is all about. Okay. Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's do it because I want to start adding stuff to the game.
Right?
Fun stuff.
Wow. 100 chips at once. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're definitely going to have to tune the game too once you have that data, that resource data.
Oh, yeah. That's what'll make it nice, right? Is we'll be able to actually do it at that point. All right, cool. So I saved that so I can have come back to this game.
Okay.
I think your video's locked up again. Maybe I'll just
I think it might be the live share.
yeah. I think that's what we found before is that the live share was causing that problem for you.
Yeah, I don't think I can handle it all. Yeah, I wonder if it's the network throughput through the dock.
It I don't know. It can't hurt to try doing it not docked, but when I've worked at when I'm down there and I'm working, I find that I run into problems where it's like your internet kind of gets sketchy. Like so it doesn't stay consistently good. It's
Right.
like it'll be really good and then it just like I get
Yeah, and then you check it, it's fine.
but
And
if
like
I
other people in the house are fine, but
but
it's
if
like it's
you
almost like it round robins the devices sometimes.
well if you run it I've seen it where you can tell when you're doing like running a constant ping,
Hmm.
you'll see it because you'll see all the drop packets happening. Um
Yeah, hey, Frontier, yay!
this is an advertisement for getting rid of Frontier.
Yeah.
So, you want me to end the sharing?
Yeah, I can even just X out of
I
here.
want
It
to
was
see if
nice and
I want to see if it pops up for you. Like falls when the video starts working, but it does not look
yeah,
like it.
I might have to stop the camera and start it back up. That's what I did last time.
Okay.
With the call's even a little wonky, like just your screen share.
Yeah. Well.
Might be calling back. I don't know.
Okay.
It's still spinning, so it's still trying. It might resolve itself.
Yeah. So going back to what we're trying to do here, right? So we want to add these resource files. So what we should look at is how we're actually building the data up as it is right now. And I think, if I remember right, we were actually doing it within the game console is what's setting up the game state. Oh, did I lose you, Pete?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh,
I can't actually see your screen, so I have to watch it on the the stream. So I'm like 30 seconds behind.
oh. Well, it's not 30 seconds, but it's definitely.
No, it's actually not. It's like 3 seconds. It's pretty good right now.
Um, and maybe it's you watching Twitch, Skype, and live share. It's like all of it together is just bogging everything down.
Yeah, maybe I'll take down everything but Skype.
Yeah. So this is where we're doing this load, I believe, right? Because we get the commands, which we need to have here. This build mine store does it. The control room, I think, does some as well. No, it doesn't. Okay, that doesn't. Maybe build store doesn't do it. Oh no, this does. This has some items in it. Which this might be okay, actually. So we could probably just, if we can add a, oh, now I've lost Pete. Pete's officially gone. So we'll go to alternate screen where it's just me for the time being. Nice.
So, I'm back for now.
For now.
That whole
Oh
thing
boy.
just closed up and went away.
Oh, did it?
Gone without a trace.
So now we have. So here's an interesting question that we may want to think about: is do we want to have the game load everything about the store into memory, or do we want to make this like work more like a? Oh, did I lose you again?
No, I'm here.
Oh, I just had the little sound of like Skype disconnecting.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I could use a screen share. I didn't want to interrupt you, but
Oh.
it's just looking at me, which is nice and all.
Let's see here. I'm trying to get the select some music here. This is what the heck is this? It's called Chiptune.
It seems fitting.
I know, right? That's why I thought it might be good to use, but it's not. I
Not so
think.
much, huh?
Well, I can't hear it. Oh wow. Nothing like having constant problems, huh?
Right, technical difficulties.
Well, I think Skype is actually what's giving me the trouble more than anything. Oh, I have it open twice. That's not good. It's like 8-bit music. We'll try that for a little bit. how annoyed I get by it.
So it's going to sound like old Nintendo games.
Yeah, Sega Genesis and yeah, it's pretty funny. So I think the question is, do we want to make this where we have this process that loads the state in and puts it in for this items for sale, or do we um,
So are you saying like, do you want to have like literally something loaded in memory, or are you talking about like, do we want like some kind of like repo kind of pattern?
well, that's what. So I guess that's what I'm getting at. It's like, do we want to have something where we're going to be continuing to read it from the file versus caching it in memory?
I think we can cache it.
Okay.
I don't think we're. I can't imagine us ever having so much that we want to go out and get it.
Yeah, I think you have to, just to think about what the scale may end up being as if we actually have multiple people playing in this game at the same time.
Right.
Which is just, it's one of those things. It's a possibility. But maybe we can even use a repository pattern that's just cached in memory. Then we don't even have to worry about it.
That's true.
It's kind of the best of both worlds.
And then we could actually pop it out if we needed for some reason to do it in a different way.
Yeah. I think part of the other concern that I have, so the store is going to be potentially a problem because the the items in here, we're actually saving them. I think I do remember mentioning this last week, that we're actually saving the store state, basically the items that are in there, into our save file.
That's true.
And that's going to add a little extra little wrinkle for us when we try to add items that should be available in the store, and you load a file.
It will make it hard. We were talking about being able to add stuff while it's running too, right? Definitely wouldn't be able to do that if we loaded it on the memory.
Right. Load what while it's running? Oh, you mean like
Yeah,
changes to the file?
Yeah, because we were saying like if it was loading it. I remember talking about it like last week or maybe even offline.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was going back and forth on the idea of, do we make the tables like files, or do we make them resources that are compiled in? That was the other question that came up, right? So we need to have some form of loading this data that will allow us to switch back and forth between whether it's going to load it from a file or from the resource, because one's like more production ready versus the other. But I say we just go with doing a file.
I'm okay with that
for right now.
It's really straightforward.
Yeah.
It's easy for people to understand. We don't have to get involved with other stuff in order to do some of the other things.
Yeah, right. So one of the things I think we're definitely going to want to have, I think we actually started a ticket in here for it, right? So we're trying to keep track of which items that we wanted to be able to keep here. Right, so we've got these items that we're going to do. So maybe we'll do game items first.
Okay.
Because we don't even have, I don't even think, I mean, we have stuff that uses it, but I don't know how much stuff. I think everything else kind of is going to depend on that being available. So that's why I wanted to kind of get that one, especially for like achievements and store items and chips hopper upgrade items. All this stuff is kind of going to depend on it. Mm-hmm. So let's do that one first.
It's the top level.
Yeah. So what I was going to do is I was going to create, just going to create a new file in here. Actually, you know what? I can even just start with Excel, I think. Ooh, I don't even have Excel installed. So let me just do a new text file then. I will have to get Excel installed at some point. So one of the things we can do with this then is I can open it up in here, and I think I may have installed it on here already, but we have oh, maybe I don't. Let me see about it. There's some extensions that are good for this.
For VS Code here.
Yeah, so let's see it. Let's try this one.
Oh.
But that doesn't really let you. Doesn't look like it's going to let you edit it. You can filter it.
Okay, so it's just like a viewer.
Yeah, that may not be.
Edit CSV seems.
Yeah, so this. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I think this might be worth giving it a try.
Let's do that one. I agree. That one looks snazzy.
Yep, so we gotta do. But we actually had in the item here, it had the game item ID, name, and description. So we need a name and description. So then we can just kind of. Well, what are some of our game items?
Yeah, right. You gotta do like a side by side or something.
Yeah, I was like, oh shoot, I don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have diggers, and we have chips.
Yeah, Ooh, look at that.
Nice. And bolts. This should be a good time where we can fix that and make it bolt. We can do bolts bolt.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. Yeah, we had digger, bolt, and we had raw chips.
Mhm.
So even though I don't think we're using that.
No, we're not really. It's just kind of in the name there because there might be other chips at some point.
Yeah, because we could cook them.
Yeah, right. Or add spices to them or whatever. Or maybe you're
Yeah.
digging in a Dorito mine. I don't know. Whatever.
Let me do this. I want to do. So let's find where this is used in the entire solution.
That's a good start.
Because this is crazy. See, this is gonna actually be very interesting because I wasn't thinking about where this stuff was getting used. I think there's gonna be. Uh,
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to put some kind of proper like data layer in here, I think.
yeah, maybe we can even. While we're doing this, you know what? Maybe we should actually add another column to this, and we'll just do something that's like we'll call it like uh, pluralized. So we can do this. That seem
Uh,
reasonable?
yeah, so that we could sort of pick up on it.
Yeah. So then we can. Well, then we can use the plural or not use the plural. So we can
Right,
kind
for
of
our
use
command. Like when we
yeah
do our command switch or whatever.
command when we display it because you don't
Hmm.
want to say 15 digger. You want to be able to
Right,
say 15 diggers, and so we want to
right.
be able
So
to say
if not one, we've greater than one.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, that's cool. Okay, cool. I like it.
Pluralized name. Yeah, so that'll be pretty good. There's, like I said, there was still more. What do we have? We had
Actually, the digger was like a standard digger or something, or it was like a basic digger. Because it wasn't just a digger, because that's what part of those slots had to do with.
well, the standard digger was the name of the what we called it in the in
All
like
right, so
in a different
so that
spot.
doesn't really exist yet.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, we can add it to it. It's not like it's terrible to do it that way here, because we could do. Well, oh yeah, because this is standard.
Yeah. Because I think it was, yeah, because there was even like an economy digger. Like there were some different things we were doing.
That we were talking about, but we
Yeah.
don't have it.
But we don't have it. It's not in the game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but there's still going to be the concept. Like, there's still diggers, like as its own concept. So we'll
Mhm.
have to see how that ends up.
Right, as it's like type. Okay.
Yeah, and then there should have been the. Why am I not seeing the upgrade items? Right, there should have been new game item. Oh, you know what? They're not new game item. That's why.
They're derived, aren't they?
Yeah. So it was gonna be. We were actually talking about that, right? Because I think we were saying that those are actually going to have their own table, right? But they're still going to have a root game item.
Yeah, I think so, right? That's how we were kind of picturing that structure.
Yeah, yeah, I believe that's what we were talking about. So let's see to get that. Where did we use these? Let me see if I can find. There's this spot. There is. Yeah, why does it not seem to be? Oh, you know what? It's because it's in a weird file. That's why.
Oh, it's just hanging around in there.
Yeah. So let's see. Um, where is this? I would think this is being used somewhere.
The digger upgrade
Oh,
item?
that's because that's the root. So what I need is this one here, which is actually the main one, or
Oh,
like
because we had hoppers and bits.
yeah. This doesn't create them. Where was it getting created in? Was that the? Oh, was it this one? Ah, yes. Okay. So then we're gonna want to have. Oh, we're not doing spaces, so I have to take that into consideration when we're working on this stuff here, right? Because so this should be underscore.
Yeah, I guess, right? Because we're not doing any spaces.
Yeah. Um, and then we're gonna do large hopper. Oop. And then we had
Then the bit was,
yeah,
I forget
that
what the
was,
name of it was.
we just had standard bit is the
Okay.
name here.
Okay.
All right, so that'll be 6. So I think that's all we have at the moment.
All right, so those are all like the root game items.
Yeah. So now we have that file. So what I want to do is I'm going to make this. Didn't I save it in that? Um,
Did it not go where you think? Did not.
it's
Ah,
there. It's just it was
the
filtering the
type.
tape. It's just weird that it wasn't pulling it in automatically. So what I want to do is I'm going to change the properties on this. So this will be considered content, and just give copy always. So
Okay.
what's up?
I said okay. Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna want to probably gonna end up wanting to put it into a different project.
All together, like a data project.
I think, well, not those files, but I'm trying to think about how we're going to do the reader and loader and how we're going to bring all that data in, right?
Right. Like that infrastructure kind of layer.
Yeah, because that's the part that's going to get um, not tricky, but it's just like we're gonna may have to build out a little bit more than we would if we were building like an ASP.NET Core application and we already had a container that we're using and you can just inject it and we've got all these, we can just create these repository objects and call it a day.
Right.
Um, but I feel like that's kind of where we should go. I'm wondering if I should use this resource project as that. Um,
Like the thing that does all that for us.
yeah, I'm trying to think.
Maybe.
I think what I need to do is in here I'm going to need to be able to put in. I have to add a folder. We'll just call it like just do data for right now, right? And so then I can at least put in here our repository. Right, so we'll do that. This actually should be an interface, so we'll make this interface. We'll do a T. I'm trying to debate on whether this actually. Well, we're just doing reads, right? So it doesn't really matter. We're not doing saves, so we don't have to worry too much about that. So we should be able to do just do a get all for right now,
Okay.
because um, uh, there's not really much. You know, we'll do it like they want you to. All right, so we'll bring those in. Oh. Bring in. Whoa, doesn't know.
You missed a reference or something?
Nah, I think the
Oh, read only.
yeah,
Oh,
capitalization was wrong on it. But so now we can do. There's two ways we can do this. We can either, maybe what we can do is we can create.
what are you trying to think? Like,
I'm trying to debate on whether I should create like a generic. I'm thinking about creating a generic for this, a generic loader.
okay.
But where I really want that is going to be in here. I want to see what I set up the dependencies on this. Okay, so there are none. So I could actually, we can add a reference to the core,
Okay.
and then in here we can actually add our root, right? So we can do a base, or actually do generic.
Okay.
So
That's a type of base, or is that
what's that?
is that going to be a type of the base, or is that its own repository?
Oh no, it has to be.
It's going to be its own thing.
It's a generic.
Okay.
I'm not sure
Okay.
what you were asking.
I'm not sure either. I want to see where you go with this.
So
Because I've seen it before, so now I'm starting to guess. And I'm just going to watch.
yeah, well, I'm trying to create a generic one for this so that we can load any type with it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Within the resource project here? Okay.
Right. And I'm trying to think if that's going to be possible. That's why I'm like kind of playing around with it here at the moment, because one of the things that we're going to want to bring in here is the CVS, CVS, CSV
That guy.
library. I'm going to do this one because
Yeah, we used that before.
yeah, it seems to work pretty good, and it wasn't too bad. Wasn't like super large. And I think, if I remember right, it will actually, like, we can control how we want it to load the items, but we don't have to, and I think it'll allow for a generic loading of a data type. I think.
Well, that'd be convenient. So you can just kind of dot.
Well, that's the types. What I'm trying, I think it was. Well, we're gonna have to look it up real quick because it's been a while since we actually have used it. I'm hoping it'll come back to me when. All right, there we go.
Just node it up and pass it a stream.
Yeah. So this is where we're gonna have a bit of an issue, right?
Because that's got to be that file.
Yeah. So we have what we're going to be missing is something that's going to tell us which file to use. Maybe we shouldn't go this route for it.
Because yeah, having to define that file makes it kind of hinky.
Yeah. Well, so like in using the database and using Entity Framework, right? We actually have a way to create a configuration object that would tell us how that that object would get loaded, right? So whatever came in as T, we would be able to say, okay, for T, where do we get this data from? And the context would actually have that information. It would go to the database and know how to get that information out of there. We don't have anything that's like that here. And so I don't know what the right answer is to solve it in this case. I feel like it would be good to think of
Like
a
a
way to do it.
mapper kind of thing you need, like a data mapper, like Dapper.
Well, no, not well. You know what? That's interesting. I wonder if Dapper would work with CSV files.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it would work with CSV files, but it seems like what you're trying to do.
Well, I'm trying to do
It's
entity framework.
yeah, right, exactly.
I mean, that's what
So
I'm trying to do, but I don't know how we would implement that easily versus just kind of brute forcing it a little bit. Let's see. I think we're going to run into an issue trying to use it for CSV because it's still trying to use it as a
database schema.
yeah, it's like a database schema. Exactly. It uses a connection, like a SQL connection. You know what I mean? So it's not like you can.
Yeah, because there it is under there.
Yeah, this is trying to get it out. I think it's yeah, they're talking about getting it out of there. So maybe we'll just, you know what? Let's get it working. And so what we can actually do is instead of this, we can go like this, where we can say this is going to be so that we'll just do game item repository, and then this will be of type game item, right? So that way then, technically this should then be game item. Cool.
And now we know where the file is going to be. Now, is that something you want to put in like a config somewhere or something, or?
Yeah, I definitely would at some point here and want that to be in a config. Let's just try to get this working first, and then we'll move that out, because I think what I want to do is actually have it as part of the constructor that comes in when this gets newed up, and so we'll have some other way of getting that information. We may need to start thinking about how we're going to do that type of stuff, and whether we want to implement some sort of service locator pattern.
Okay.
Sorry. This was game item.csv, I believe. Yeah. All right. Let's see what that is. All right. So then this is where I think. So then we can return records. Let's make this async. And then we'll make this as. Oh no, we're not actually doing the calls to it that way. Alright, I guess we'll take this off. We won't make it asyncable. Kind of just out of habit, put it in the.
Yeah, because that's how you've been doing it, right?
Yeah. Alright, so that. Alright, so that should give us our files. Oh. You know what? I think I'm going to still move this. Maybe I should just move this up to.
Yeah, like a const at least up top or something.
Yeah, I think I want to move it at least to. Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, at least you won't have to search the the code for it.
Yeah. So that, because I want to change, I do want to change it where this is going to take it as some kind of configuration parameter
Right.
at some point here.
So that's good though. That'll keep it up top, up
Yeah.
where all that'll happen someday in a constructor.
Yep. So, like, I think this should be all that's necessary. Um,
So that'll fish out just what's in that CSV file, right? That list of items.
it'll fish out. Yes. Yeah. That's what this should do.
For a little test. See if it does.
Yeah, that's gonna be. This is where we're probably gonna have to, and now we're gonna actually have to inject it in there, right? If we're gonna write a test for it.
Well, that didn't take long.
Yep. So let's do. I'm just gonna do that. Then we can. Gonna need to add another folder that's gonna be the resources.
Okay.
And then let's just paste that in. Make this property the same as the other one. Oh, good, it took it on. Alright, good. Now we're gonna add a new test.
And now we should see those little balls turn green once we get this set up. In the margin there for the tests.
Yes. Yes, we should. Alright, so if we take this, I'm gonna split screen this. This is a fixture. Isn't it a fixture? Do I not even need to do that? It's,
It's test fixture, isn't it?
oh no, don't even need to. That's because that's N unit.
Oh. This is X unit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, it's got facts.
Yeah, so I don't even need that. I remember it being funky when I was doing it. Right. So we should be able to. How do we do a save all? Control Shift S. Okay.
So you remember me knocking the screen share off all the time doing that?
What's that? Oh yeah.
Control Shift S.
I know. Oh my goodness. That was so weird that was the same.
For Skype for Business, even.
Yeah, right. Doofuses. Oh no, was it?
It was.
Oh, okay. For some
So
reason, I was thinking Slack for some reason.
Yeah, we only did the screen share a little bit with Slack, but we used to do it all the time at work.
Yeah. All right, so let's say loading file. File. Oh. File returns records. Nothing fancy. Nope. Tried to figure out what I was doing, and you were wrong. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I needed to add the reference. Okay.
Yeah, you need to add the actual under test.
Records. Now we should.
Test.
Count. Come on, fingers.
Why doesn't it like that?
because it doesn't bring in link by default the way that I got the stuff set up. And then now should lead needs to be set up.
Ah, okay.
Hey, so see how that's neat? So I saved the file.
Oh, and it ran it.
And it ran it. So
Ah, nice.
yeah, so that's showing us a problem here. What do we get? Can I find? Oh yeah, because that's true. Because it wouldn't find it.
I got pass it in.
Yeah, exactly. We got to be able to pass it in. So now we're gonna make this part of the constructor.
It's like a resource path or something.
Yeah. We'll do that. How about we'll just call it
You could even pass it as
table
no.
path.
It's just a string.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that. Then we'll just do this. I'll just make this table path, and then let's get rid of this. There we go. So now we got that, and then now I can put in a path here, which that is going to be repository tests / resources / game dash CSV. Yeah, so that
Didn't fix it, huh?
let's see. Ah,
Item ID was not found.
yeah, so it didn't fix it, but it at least told us what was going on. Because I called it game item ID here based on the other stuff. We actually want to change that. We don't have a pluralized name, that's fine. Probably want to add that. So if we do that, and then this one up. Probably we're going to still end up with the same problem. I'm just going to I'm building it so that the file gets copied out again. I have a feeling it may not. We got further. Look, see?
Yeah.
Should be 6, but was 5.
Did it count the header row?
1, 2, 3, 4,
Excuse
5.
me.
Oh, I counted the header row when I said 6. Oh, look, I skipped numbers here.
Yeah, there's no 3.
Which is why I was thinking it was 6. Let me just fix these. I do think it's funny that it was actually ended up being a problem with the file. So yeah, and then this should actually be 5. So boom, now we got green.
Green.
I do like that, I have to say.
That's pretty hot. It is pretty hot.
That is very good. I'm wondering what this yellow is in the middle.
Is that a breakpoint maybe or something?
I think it's just because the total execution time on it. It must be high.
Oh, it's taking too long to me?
Yeah, it's interesting. Not what I would have expected. Oh, I don't know what I should have been thinking to expect. Oh, look at all this. It's telling us we need to clean this up. Oh, I see. It's the using statements. That's why. Good. Alright. So, yeah, so we've got that. Now, I have to think about how we're going to use it, right? Because now that we've got that, we've got this small issue where, well, I guess we can use it.
What's the issue you're stuck on?
Oh, trying to figure out how this is going to actually get implemented to get used, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it would be good for us to maybe try to get let's look at that list again. Right? So we have these achievements, but achievements depend on these items, right? Or no, we don't have to have them depend on it,
They
right?
don't necessarily depend on anything. They can interact with those items for the rewards, or they can read some of those items potentially. There's a lot of things, but right now most of the achievements are running off of that, like that history,
Okay,
that player
so
history.
just trying to remember where the game loads it. I think it's still in here.
Yeah, right on that top console.
Yeah.
Because it's an entity.
Yeah, but where was it? There it is. That's where it's in the start game. Oh, it's because we're setting up the mind game there to do it initially. Okay.
Yeah, well, I think that was something we were talking about, maybe going back and changing anyway.
Yeah. All right. So we have we actually have two different types of achievements right now. Right.
Hmm.
So I think what we need to do is we're going to have an inventory achievement,
Okay.
and we'll start with that one. Because that one actually doesn't have any anything attached to it right now. So let's try it. We'll start with that one. So I'm just gonna add a text file. I was wondering if they maybe had one that was
CSV. Yeah, like
yeah,
ready to go. Be cool, but
that would have been kind of neat. So you want to do an inventory achievement? Oh, did I spell that wrong?
was this just achievements? And you're gonna put the inventory in it?
No, they have different properties.
Yes, that's true. Yes, so we'll need a whole table of inventory achievements. Okay, that makes sense.
That's where I was. That's where I was coming at it from. That's actually why what I want to do is bring this over here, and we can go to the settings here, right? Because all right, so we have some base achievement settings.
Yeah, like your normal ID name description. And then that rewards is fun.
Yeah, do we want to do it simplistic, where we could just say up to a max of 3, so we could actually just have like 3 items listed for right now, versus creating a whole separate, like, you know, one to many type of table setup.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like just attach it right there and say you get 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that you can have up to that or none. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
Right, but yeah, so position one's okay.
That's what I
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
It's kind of what I
Yeah,
was
okay.
thinking. But what I was also kind of curious about here is, do we want to have an achievements table that has specific details? Like, do we want to denormalize it or normalize it, or leave it denormalized or normalize it? Like, do we want to actually have a table called, or have a table called achievement settings, and then in there we'd actually have then another table called inventory achievements? Or do we maybe, maybe we're doing this wrong. Maybe we should just have it. Maybe we should just have an achievements table and just have extra columns. You know what I mean? Like, we're thinking
I
about this
do.
like a database, and I think that's
I'm
part.
wondering, is it more of a tree?
Welcome, Allison.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Why didn't you bring me coffee?
She can't hear you.
She can't. Well, she will later.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, it's wonderful. So,
yeah, I feel like we should not worry so much about how the tables are structured.
I think you're right. I don't think it really is a relational database.
Yeah, and that I think there's some stuff you want to have relational, and then other things it's not worth going through that effort.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it may make sense if at some point we actually wanted to use like SQLite database and the back end for it, and then that's what we're actually going to be doing to do all this stuff. Um, I don't know if that's necessary for right now. So let's.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm sold. Let's do it pretty simplistic,
Okay.
like baby steps. So we hard coded it first. Now we're getting it out into some data files.
Yeah. So let's do this. We're gonna rename some of this stuff too. That's not even being used at the moment. So like this really should be achievement ID. Because right now it's just ID. Ah, I don't like that. I just like ID.
I like ID too because it's an achievement. What the hell else is it? Right? Like,
Yeah. No, I know. There's some people I've been getting other people's opinions about it. I still don't like it. Like I can't get around it.
yeah, well, we used to do it all the time, right? That's how we did it.
Yeah.
But that was coming out of the database schema world.
Even in there, I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, I get there is the one. So one of the arguments for the database world where to doing it is because when you're writing your queries, you can actually like tell that the ID is actually from a specific thing, and if you have multiple joins that are happening, you can tell what the join is actually on because it has the name in there. Especially if you're using, you know,
Like aliases
aliasing.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which you really should be ultimately, really. So yeah, I mean, so those that's where that I think theory was coming from because I think our naming of our entity was driven by database naming.
right. Um,
I'm kind of with you though. I think that since we're now kind of doing like a code first sort of a deal, where our classes are going to define the data
yeah.
structure, I'm with you on that. I think it should be ID.
All right. Sounds good. So we put that in there, and then we have digger, and then one, and then we just did max value. Let's see.
Right, because it's like a blank, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would probably be right. It'll just be null.
Yeah, for these purposes.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to put in a whole number. I guess we technically can. Yeah. Do you think the achievement should even have a max amount? It feels like it should be just like an amount reached.
Right, because it's a threshold.
Yeah. I wonder if we even need a max amount.
I can't imagine what that would be right now.
I know. It would almost have to be something coming from the other direction.
Is it used in any way?
I think it's just used in this one spot, right? So it's being used probably as part of the test on this. Yeah, so because you've got the test here where it does it for that's not readable at all. Okay.
Let's take it out then.
Yeah, I feel like we can do this with just that.
I can't. I'm trying to think of why it's even there, right? Like,
Yeah, I think like I was saying, the only thing that would be beneficial is if you're trying to reduce inventory. You know what I mean? Like you're starting
Like
at
to
a
get
high
under
number.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to get under something. But I can't imagine what that would even be. And I think what we would still want to do is have it be something like um, amount instead of like being min amount, like have it like reached amount, and then we
Yeah,
could eventually we could
like
add some.
threshold or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we could have something that says positive or negative threshold, right? And so we could actually switch which side we want it to be on.
Sure, we could just sign it.
hmm So I think that might be a solution
Yeah.
for this. So
That
well,
that sounds good. What's frustrating me is I'm trying to figure out what I put that in there for. Like I must have had something in my head. I, I hate
yeah,
that.
yeah, I don't know.
Ah well.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna want to also have in here um, achievement type.
This coffee's so hot.
And so this would be, in this case, we're going to have inventory achievement.
Right, and we can just keep typing that.
Yep. I
We
don't.
don't need like an achievements table like we would do for work.
No. No. That this is a different like we would do for work. Yeah. There's a whole different reason for what this data is meant for, and it should be relatively simplistic. And honestly, like if you're going to give this to somebody to work on that isn't a programmer or whatever, like they can just go in and use this to do it. Like we're not adding an interface to this, right?
Right.
So we want to make it as simple as for them to work with. So you don't want to have lots of different files that they have to go into to do everything.
Yeah, and you're not going to have somebody that wants to have a drop down with all the different achievement types in it for when they do their data entry, like we have
Right.
to deal with in business applications, right?
Correct. So that yeah, so that's pretty good. Let's look at the other achievement.
So you're going to change that around, that min max?
Yeah, I wasn't going to do it right this second. I guess we could probably take it out because I don't think.
Yeah, the max at least, right?
Yeah, I'm just going to leave the min in there for right now. And I wanted to get the other achievement. So we're going to have one here. Right, so I'll have that one. Now I just need to go to this. So in this case will be chips to 500. Then we'll put the message. It's funny, this one actually has min count only.
It's very interesting.
And why did I have? Oh, right, because after the description, inventory item name, we don't have that for this one. So we just skip that. We don't have a min amount. We have a min count. So let's do lifetime stat name and min count. Maybe we'll change them both to threshold, but
Okay, so you're just going to list them separately.
yeah. Do lifetime
Chips, not ships.
Why not ships?
It's maybe
What if-
someday. Maybe it'll be ships someday.
They'll have uh, ship chips.
Ship chips.
All right. So that one's there, and then sorry. Let's see. Yeah, so this one's going to be the next one, right? So just copying this stuff in for right now. All right, then none of that. Lifetime ships. 100. I feel like I'm playing a video game in the 80s. Some good stuff. All right, so those seem to be in there. I think I'm gonna actually open that one from here as well. So I have my tests. So just make sure I did that right. So it looks good. Yeah, see, like that's all right. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, this name is not consistent. I think it's lowercase.
Yeah, lifetime, one word.
Yeah. I think that's what this is. Yep. All right, good. All right, so awesome. So now we can. So here's my idea here, right? So that now this one, we can actually now just do an achievement repository. Right.
It's a game achievement, right? Is it a game achievement?
I don't know. Yes.
Game achievement.
There we go. Do that. Implement the interface. All right, now we got this. You just take this same thing. Now, here's the thing that's different about this one, right? It's going to end up being a little trickier because of the fact that we actually are going to need an intermediary data type for this. And since this is internal to itself, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually, I don't even want that. I just want to have a class, just call it an achievement record. Right, so now we can do
Okay. So that's going to be your little model.
yeah, because we need to have something to take to initially start with that we can then translate into the actual items, right? So this is our intermediary.
So this is going to actually suck in that string that we can then push. Okay.
Yeah.
So that has to match your names.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you know what? That means that we could even actually get rid of this min count here.
Change it right here, and we just translate it in.
Yeah, we can translate it in.
But you gotta put it back in the right, right in the right spot there.
That doesn't look right. Fresh.
No.
I'm going to have to cheat.
THRESHOLD.
Okay. It's almost right.
The magnitude or intensity that must be exceeded for a certain reaction, phenomenon, result, or condition to occur or be manifested. It's definitely the right word.
So, let me see if I make that change in here. Threshold. So then this, now I can make this just be 500. Actually, we were doing 50 for right now.
Yeah, we're doing 50 and like 100.
100, yeah.
So we have to play so long.
Yeah. Because that would be...
That's a cool little plugin, dude.
Right? It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's pretty nifty.
It's like, it's not bad. I like it.
Pretty nifty.
Oh, look at that. Neat. Oh. Look at that. Cool. So I have it now where it knows that there's a header. So now those columns actually have it as the header on there.
Right, instead of that column 1 and then the data.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so in theory, we should be able to read that in. We just now have to get that translator piece to do its little thing.
Yeah, so let's, that's what we can actually now test. I just want to get these names right here first, because try to get them right. All right, so we're gonna have a name.
Copy that row.
That's probably not a good idea. Actually, just the rest of it.
Replace your commas with public string.
Nope, I'm gonna do it like this.
Yeah, that's a way.
So there's something I don't know how to do, right? So I can
What?
so I can create the so I can create the cursors by like so what I did is I went over and I'm able to do it where I hold down Control Shift Alt, and that allows me to create the cursors.
But you can't get them off the end.
I can't.
Can you do like Control End now?
Let me see.
You know what I mean? Once you got the cursor, then Control End to go to each end.
See, it just takes me to the end of wherever my last cursor is. That's why I was like,
Yeah, and you can only move left or right with it.
oh well. Not that big a deal.
Yep. Bet you there is a way though.
This actually isn't it. Oh, you know what? What's crazy is that I can do that in VS Code.
Huh.
I'm thinking that maybe they just haven't gotten this to the gotten it to here yet. All right, so we got the achievement records. Now we need to translate them.
Right.
So,
There's going to be a little iffiness, right? Because you're going to have to switch out the type.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to do... Maybe we'll just do it like that. We'll just do it as a switch.
Did you see that new switch statement in like C# 8?
I don't know if I have.
It's like real inliney. It just has all the conditions. It's weird.
You know what? I feel like I may have seen something with that.
I think I saw it in like a tweet from like maybe from Kathleen Dollard.
Oh, I could definitely see Kathleen Dollard having put something out like that.
Yeah.
Just
So
right now she's on that team.
yeah, right. So maybe that's where, but it was neat. I'm going to take a look on Google real quick while you're punching that in.
I know that I'd seen something at one point that I was like, I don't even know what the benefit of that is.
It was just thrifty. It was clean looking.
Yeah. I'm sure. I just feels odd.
Is this it? New switch expression is quite simple. Oh, weird. So it's lambdas. Huh.
Oh, that's really strange.
Yeah.
Ooh, getting a cramp. Programming too hard.
There's a lot on it, actually. I'm reading, there's a whole article here on it. So there's a couple different ways to do it, looks like. But like,
I always, I have to say, I feel like sometimes they're starting to add stuff into here, into the language that might not be the best for general development purposes. Oh, I wonder if I should do this actually as a. I'll do it like this. I'll do records dot select. Oh, and just have this do a return. Return. This would be an X.
yeah, look at this. I'm gonna paste you a little code on the side here.
Okie dokie.
What have you gotten into? Look at that. Looked away for a minute.
What's that?
So I looked away for a minute. Look back. There's all these T results and everything in there. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. I guess wasn't able to identify the type.
Uh,
Oh. I was wondering why I was getting upset. I was like, wait, what? And now we can do achievements and actually return that.
okay.
Yeah, that's right. I don't need those. Cleans that up. All right. So now we can actually do a.
All test.
It's achievement setting.
Oh, we're not there yet.
No, we're not. Well, yeah, this is just a loader, so it's not quite really there yet. But I can do return new inventory achievement. Why does it need the game state? Doesn't that seem odd?
Because it has to impact the that's where the store stuff is. So to touch the inventory, I bet.
To be able to talk to the store.
Like the store inventory that's stored isn't that in the game state?
It is. It is. Because you're actually constructing the. I know why. So I think we'll have to explore some different options for this. This might be a good time to think about maybe we can implement like some mediator or something like that where we can do it based on some kind of pipeline context or context or pipeline or something, so we don't have to pass this into here. I don't like having to have that in this call necessarily, because this is the repository.
Yeah,
right?
so we don't want to have the state in here.
Yeah.
That's no good.
I mean, I think we can get around it a little bit because we can do uh whoa, why does it do it like that?
What was that trying to
I Your guess is as good as mine.
do?
What was the name? X dot name. Description. Inventory item name. That's going to equal. Oh no, we called it threshold. That's right.
Yeah, in there.
So I think what we can do though is I think we actually have a static for this, right? So we have, what was it called?
Main console, or was it just
No, it wasn't
game?
main
No,
console.
was it just game?
My game, mine game,
Mind game. It's a German game.
mine game.
Mind game.
Uh,
What's the problem?
it's not finding it. Oh, it should be there. Oh, it is just game. We had to we had to pipe it,
Yeah,
alias it
that's
to something else because
this game.
yeah. Well, because of the mono game. It was getting,
Right,
it couldn't figure out which one was which.
right.
Uh,
So
oh, we don't have it here. We don't have the game state on here. I thought we did.
there was a little scroll there. Was there anything down further?
Uh, there was a scroll.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's just that.
it would have been up here because it was
I-
store state.
Right, for alpha.
Um. Well, I guess for the sake of argument for right now, let's just pass it in. No, store state, right? Or do I need to actually pass in game state?
The whole game state, I think, and the store's in there. That is not good.
Yeah, I think, oh. Why is this not getting cleaned up? Come on. Sorry. All right, so I wasn't talking there for a bit. The so I think
All right, so we
that's
passed
good
in
for
the
that
game
one.
state.
Yeah, so that one's fine here. So I think we're gonna. I feel like, yeah, I feel like there's gonna be some better ways that we could be doing this down the line at some point, but I don't know if it's necessary at the moment to try to address it. Ooh, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah, I almost wonder if once we get this data resource thing squared away and we really have like a true like infrastructure layer in here, if that'll become easier. Like it'll actually become a lighter lift.
Yeah, well, I think part of the problem is the way the achievements processing happens, right? What I think we might be better off with, realistically, is actually having some messages, actually putting in a message layer into the game that'll allow us to be able to emit events from the store.
Okay.
And so then those events could then have readers that would happen out of here. So as those events get emitted, there'd be things that would be collecting them and processing them. So we could have something in here that would be like, hey, listen for these events, listen for this event, and then that way we don't have to um,
Yeah.
have to know about the game state, right? Because that's part of the problem. What's happening right here is now this has to know about the game state and how that's
Yeah.
implemented.
And potentially manipulate it, which you also don't want to be doing in here if you can
Right.
help it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to cover that. But right now, I mean, getting it in will be okay.
Yeah.
Start to pull that apart
Uh,
before we publish, you know.
yeah. Right. And this one was min count. There was something else here. Oh yeah, the rewards. Well, we're gonna do it without rewards at the moment.
No reward for you.
Yeah. So there we go. We got that. This is returning it, so that should actually build okay. So now let's add our test for it. This is a game achievement. Alright, so like that. Fact. Just make sure that that works. All right, awesome. So we're gonna do repo, do game. So then here we actually need. Oh yeah, the resource path and game state. Oh, what? The heck? What package was that that wanted to install? No,
SharePoint. What the hell was?
I don't
Is that what
know.
that said?
It's was it SharePoint?
Something looked like it lit up in there.
Yeah, yeah, SharePoint Online. It's like, no, thank you. That's not what I'm trying to do. Oh, it's because I called it just achievement. That's why I wasn't finding it. I'm like, all right. So I need a resource path. I feel like we had a. I just knew up a game state.
Yes, we can.
Can we?
I think we can.
Okay. I mean, I
Like
was
we're
able
not
to
going to
write
be
the code.
interacting with it. Yeah, yeah, we're not going to interact with it. So I think just pulling this out will be fine. Now, if we try and, you know what I mean? Like if we were going to try and act on the reward or put the thing in the inventory, I don't know what's going to happen. But
Right. Right. Yeah, we don't want to do that.
But yeah, it's really just, it's kind of artifact for what we're doing here.
Yeah. So then we should now be able to do a count, and we should.
So it's like an interface segregation principle violation, kind of, huh?
What's that?
Having to carry along this extra baggage for no reason.
Yep. It's not this would be more of It's actually more about the fact the reason we have to pass this along is because we actually have the achievements depending on game state.
Yeah.
right? And so that dependency is where we're having the problem. What we want to do is we want to try to invert that dependency, right? So that's where if we switch to messaging, what that gives us the ability is it makes it so that the store can ship out messages without having to know who it is that's looking at it, and the achievements can read those messages without having to know who's emitting them, right? So then
Right.
that's how we're going to be able to break that apart.
Right. But that's how we're solving the problem. But ultimately, we need to, in order to create this instance, to do something that has nothing to do with the game state to test it. We've got a new one up and stuff it in the constructor. That seems. I'm not arguing the point with you. I'm just saying, and what you described is how we make that not have to be.
Right.
So,
Right.
so that's like the fix to it. Yeah, I mean, I might be a little off there. It's not really an interface, but it's along those lines of having to just throwing everything into your classes that you might need, and then just having to carry it with you everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Carrying stuff around like that is, well, it means it has to know about it, right? And so this is like clearly a dependency for the repository, but the repository isn't doing anything that should have that dependency on it, right?
Right? And it just tempts somebody down the line to use it since it's there. And then you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be great.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I got the game state. Let me just start doing some stuff.
All right. So now we've got our achievements. Let's see if I wonder if that'll finish. What's it failing for now?
Found not found.
Oh, because I didn't set it to content. I didn't get that part saved.
Looks good.
And we got 3. All right, cool. So what I like to do is, I think I want to just breakpoint that. Can I now run this in debug? There we go. I want to see what these achievements look like. I want to see if we're actually getting the different types like we expected. It'd be interesting with the achievements now. It's trying to actually get those rewards in there.
At least like the definition of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, got an inventory and 2 lifetimes. All right, this is looking good.
Yeah, it typed them appropriately.
Yep,
I like
I
it.
like it. I like the fact that we've got the
10-minute warning.
yeah, that's good. I like this green stuff, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm digging it.
Hmm.
You know what what's so funny is that I had known about it and forgot about it. And then at the domain driven design explore conference that I went to, one of the people that was doing a presentation had it up there, and I saw it going on. I was like, whoa, where's that coming from? And then I was like, after seeing it, I'm like, oh, it's like, how nice is that? I mean, the fact that you can even see how many tests are covering each line of code for these dots, right?
Yeah, in the code,
In
right?
the code, yeah.
What does that cost?
It wasn't bad for individual license. But like business license was different, right? So 159 for a user, and I think that's for the license for a year worth of upgrades. So
Yeah, it says for the next 12 months. You get all
yeah,
the upgrades.
yeah, and then the upgrade after that is 79. So
It's not so bad.
it's not bad. You know what though? It's like the thing is what I haven't fully explored, and I'll let you know how I make out with it. But it's like I want to really try testing the version of this that's in Visual Studio Enterprise. Because
Okay.
with my current client, like I have access to using that where I don't purchase that for myself. So for myself, I needed something that was different.
So you have been using it in Enterprise, and it's nice.
Oh, I have not. I have not.
Oh,
That's why I
okay.
was
So
saying
you
I
want
will
to try
let
it
you
out.
know how I make out with it because I started to try to set it up the other day, but we have um we have some tests that do bad things to databases. So the tests themselves are not isolated. So if I had this going on all the time with it, I would
It'd
be
just be scrambling everything for everybody, huh?
yeah, it would just be hitting the database constant. First off, it'd be hitting the database constantly. There was actually tests in there that update records, that delete records, insert new records. So they don't have any transactional stuff even around it. So it's not even like you could get away with it. Now, with that having been said, what's nice in here is like the fact that I can come over to the let me just close things out here. I don't want this anymore.
Hey, how did you get all your tabs to stack up like that?
It was just too small.
Yeah, but mine's just truncating. You just got to get the little arrow to like page
Oh,
them.
it's because I got them pinned.
Oh, because they're all pinned. Okay. I was like, how did that happen?
Yeah, no, that was. So what's nice in here is that so I could have I have to see if Enterprise has this where I can select which ones I want executing, right? Because all those ones that are bad, I could then go and turn them and disable them.
Right. So it won't run them all the time.
Yep. So I'm gonna have to explore some of that, but I do like it. I'm very, very interested. Very interested in it.
Yeah, it's right. It doesn't seem like it's putting a huge load on your system or anything either, which is nice.
Yeah, it offloads it to another process, and you can tell it how many cores you want it to use. You can tell it like how you want it to run the tests and stuff like
No
that.
kidding. Okay, that's pretty cool.
So, and because you can, ignore ones that you don't want to have continually running while you're working, you have a lot of control over it. That's why I got to see how it works in Enterprise doing the regular running tests. But yeah, I don't know. I think that was pretty good. So we've gotten to a point where we're loading game items and achievements. We don't have any of the rewards loading yet. So that's what we want to really try to get next. I think next week we'll get the rewards loading in from the data
Right.
structures. Um,
Yeah. And then we
maybe,
got to come up with that piece too that's going to allow us to actually then access all this stuff from the game, which is going to be another. I don't even know if we'll get to that next week. I'll have to see.
yeah. I mean, it depends. Maybe I'm not gonna have much time this week to. I was gonna
I'm
say
not either.
maybe I could work on it to get some of that stuff like kind of done. There's other things that I want to do, so I'll just do it next week.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
We'll
we'll
get
get there.
as far along as we can.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, this couple hours a week, like nearly every week, is making some progress. It stinks that we've had to miss some through the summer, but I mean, I guess that's the nature of the beast, right?
yeah, we're gonna do about that. So here, let's see. I'll put these all in. We'll say add repository classes for new data tables. That may not be the right structure for this, but we'll at least it'll give us a way of changing it in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're doing this is kind of neat because if you were to watch this epic saga over a period of time, you would see sort of how like a project can grow, right? It sort of evolves into different things.
Right.
Like you gotta start stringing up some code and getting some things working just to have an idea where you want to go. But then you can kind of see it all come together over time. I think that's neat. I think that'll be cool.
Yeah. So what I want to do here is we added repository for new data tables. New data tables, game items, and achievements. You know what? Can't I actually even reference an issue in this? Oh
Yes,
shoot.
you can. There's like a board.
Yeah, what is it? Number 15. There we go. Oh shoot.
What happened there?
I it changed tabs because I was clicking on something up here and it didn't like open a new tab, so it wiped out my pull request. I don't remember how to do it. Like 15. Oh, there we go. For issue number 15, added repositories for new data tables, game items, and achievements. Cool.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, so now we've got that happening.
Look at all the progress we've made. We've been working on this thing like a long time now.
I know.
When did we start this? Like February?
I think so. Let's look at the commits here. Oh, it goes older.
Older than April. January, October of 18 when we first started it. So it's been nearly a year of potato chip mining.
Yeah, so October 10th. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, there was a big batch of time where kind of nothing happened. But
It was over the holidays. And then January, like, because you had put it up there, right? Because you had been working on it even before this with the boys, right?
oh yeah,
Val.
yeah, me and Val started it a while back.
And then you can see October 26th, because I had gone in and helped fixing some of the commits so that it was cleaned up, like a clean repository.
Right.
And then it went boom to January 13th. But then after that, like, pretty often, and then really started going. So
Yeah, look, there we were getting a lot more activity.
yeah, you know what? We can actually see.
Oh yeah, it's got like the graphs and stuff. It's gonna look like I don't do anything anymore because you do all the commits.
Yeah, right. Hey, we had somebody clone it.
What? That's weird.
Yeah, right. Like, look at this. Like, you can kind of see that, we've been. It's weird that there was a lull right at the beginning. Oh, we had a couple of weeks there. So the holiday, right?
Well, it was and June was the initial trip to West Coast.
Yeah, I think that's why that kind of had that drop, and then August has been a little dead, but it's cool.
A little spotty.
We're good. I'm happy.
Yeah, man, that's really neat that we've been at it this long.
Yeah, at some point we should probably try to update this.
You think?
I mean,
yeah, maybe
it's
so.
Nice, but I think it would be nice to put that in there. All right, I'm gonna merge this in.
Okay.
All right, I think we are all done.
All right, very good. That's
good.
Another week in the can.
Yep.
I guess we'll be back Friday.
We'll be back on Friday. We'll be doing some of the bot stuff, and then Saturday morning. I think Saturday morning I'll still be available. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And we'll do that.
All right.
That sounds awesome. All right, everyone.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Later.